So question 57 is asking us to look at the situation where a company is selling a wholly owned subsidiary after the year end, and there have historically been transactions between the two which will continue all the way through to sale, but in order to try and boost the profits of the subsidiary company, the proposal is to decrease the selling prices in the final 3 months and counter that with an additional dividend which will be paid prior to disposal. The question then goes on to say which one of the following statements in respect of that arrangement is true. Now, hopefully what you should have thought as you were reading this is that in terms of the investor, it seems relatively important that they're aware that there's been a change in the pricing structure of goods that are being transferred between the two businesses, and that something doesn't feel quite right about that as a scenario. It doesn't seem fair that the parent company would be allowed to do that. So the options in the answers, we're trying to find which one of these is true. The first is that any intergroup transactions are eliminated in the consolidated financial statements and therefore there is no ethical issue. It's true that when we consolidate, we do indeed eliminate intergroup transactions. However, an investor looking to buy these shares would not be reviewing the consolidated statements. They would want to look at the financial statements for the single entity. And these transactions between the group members would still be reflected in there. So note that first statement is not true. The second is that the reduction in revenue will be covered via a dividend payment, so that again there isn't any ethical issue. Now, from a cash flow point of view, that might deal with the problem between these two companies, but again, as an investor, there is a difference for me in seeing dividend payments being made and normal trading activity. So again, that would not be true. The third is that it's a deliberate attempt to mislead potential acquirers who might rely on the financial statements, and as a result, the directors are acting unethically. That sounds right to me, but we'll just read the last one to be doubly sure. The last one says the proposed accounting treatment is in accordance with international financial reporting standards, and again, there are no ethical issues. Now again, that doesn't feel quite right. In actual fact, if we think about IAS 24 related party disclosures within the single entity statements, I would expect to see some disclosure in relation to intergroup transactions, and therefore this reduction in pricing would probably need to be reflected as a disclosure there. So the only one of these statements which is true is option 3.